three. 1, 2, 3.
I love you guys very much.
Great job.
Oh, Rockhead just said great job.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars and welcome to my review for Season 3 of Ted Lasso. Seemingly the last season, but let's wait and see. It certainly would seem that way by the way this season ends. But I'm not going to give away any spoilers here, not particularly. I'm just going to really talk about, you know, the beats and themes of the Series 3 and my thoughts on it. Now, I was pretty late to this party when it comes to Ted Lasso. I wasn't necessarily interested in it when it first came out, and then I was hearing so many good things about it. Last year, I watched it for the first, I think it was last year anyway, and I watched the first season and it just blew me away. I was so impressed with it, and because I was late to that party, Season 2 was already out, so I kind of followed it straight on with Season 2. Now, I did review Season 1 on the channel. I was going to do Season 2, but then, hey-ho, I couldn't be bothered, so I didn't get round to doing Season 2. But needless to say, I thoroughly enjoyed the second season as well. I thought it was outstanding. So I've been really quite excited to check out Season 3. And I know the season finished a couple of weeks ago, but I've just managed to catch up now, and I had about 3 or 4 episodes still to watch, which I kind of binge-watched last week. And Season 3, I think, is right up there. It is very, very entertaining. It does everything it does well in the other seasons. It's funny, it's heartwarming, it's charming. Such memorable characters. I felt, I don't know if it was just me, and you guys let me know in the comments, it felt a little bit more preachy this season than the other seasons. I thought some of the things they handled really well. The gay footballer storyline was excellent. I thought they handled that brilliantly and beautifully, and hopefully that would potentially encourage any gay footballers out there to be brave enough to come out, because they would probably be supported. I thought that was handled pretty well. I thought the Juno Temple storyline this season, I thought it's almost like they didn't know what to do with her character this season. You know, she gets her own PR company. She breaks up with Roy Kent. Then she has a gay relationship with another woman. That doesn't work. It's like back and forth. It's just like, okay, so she's gay now, is she? It's almost like they really didn't know what to do with her this season, and I felt like they didn't do her character justice. That's just me. And I was worried how they were going to handle Nate's storyline, because Nate was essentially the villain of last season. And at the end of last season, he goes to manage West Ham, and he essentially becomes Ted's nemesis. And initially, how his storyline started in the third season, I was a bit unsatisfied with. I thought, what are they doing here? But I thought his arc was brilliant, and I thought they were really, really respectful to his character. They didn't turn him into a pantomime villain or anything like that, and in actual fact they gave him a redemption arc in this season, and I really liked it. I think I would have preferred his arc at the end to have been slightly different, but he kind of got everything he wanted out of Season 3, Nate's character. I love the fact how they brought like a Zidane type footballer into the early part of the season. There's like this, I forget his name now, but there was like this Zidane type footballer who was supposed to be signing for Chelsea, and then he went and signed for the Richmond. I thought that was great. I thought they handled that particularly well. They didn't do an awful lot with Ted this season in regards to his mental health and stuff. It focused more on his family, his wife and his son, and we even got to meet his mum this season as well. But Ted's Ted. He's such a wonderful and likeable character. And also, as well, they kind of left a lot of Hannah Waddington's plot lines this season up in the air. There was an early plot line where it hinted she might be pregnant because she goes to see a fortune teller, and I was like, oh, where are they going to go with this? And didn't really go anywhere. And then she has a trip to Amsterdam, meet somebody that does kind of pay off, but almost like an afterthought. So again, I just thought they overstretched themselves a little bit this season in regards to story arcs for characters. I thought Jamie Tartt's character arc this season was pretty decent. I think they did some good stuff with him. It's almost like they didn't have enough time to justify each character's story arcs this season, or really, give them worthwhile storylines. It feels almost like, and it's probably a sensible idea, I guess, maybe to finish this season, because it almost feels like they don't have any more story to tell, without it becoming silly. And with that, and if it puts you off watching this show because you're not a fan of football. Now, I love football. I really enjoy football. It was the other soap opera stuff that put me off watching it initially. But if you're not a fan of football and it's been putting you off watching this show, you don't have to worry. The football side of things here with this show have always been a side thing. You don't get an awful lot of football. Now, for some people that might be an issue. You might want to see more football. You just get enough for it to progress storylines or story arcs for characters. And it's a very smart thing to make this an underdog story for not just Ted, not just the team, everybody really. Rebecca, Keeley, Roy, Kent, Jamie Tart. When you analyse all these characters, they've been very cleverly written in a sense of, they've given them great arcs for the most part for these 3 seasons. And if you analyse them, they're like underdogs. I just think overall these 3 seasons are superbly packaged seasons. I think the third one, if I'm going to be brutally honest about it, I think this 3rd season comes up short compared to the other 2, but only marginally. And so if you really had to rank, the 3 seasons, for me, this would come at the bottom. But that's not to say that this isn't a good season, because it is. It's great. There are some very, very satisfying moments here. I just did feel at times they didn't necessarily know what to do with some of the characters. It's almost, at times, I think they got a little bit carried away with, putting a message in here that didn't necessarily feel true to the characters they introduced us to previous seasons. But, you can't expect perfection every time. And essentially, the first 2 seasons, you could argue, were perfection. But this is a wonderful continuation of the show. I would very much like to see more. But let's just see if that happens. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think they're planning on making more, but you just never know. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll be back with more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.